27, 34, 4, 19 and 10. These were the winning numbers of the largest lottery prize in world history. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a DeLorean, a time turner, or a hot tub that could take us back in time to get these very numbers? Do you ever wish that you could do something like that? Simply hit the rewind button and undo the mistakes you've made. Erase the things you said, or say the things you didn't. Well, you can't. Yep, it's true, we can't rewind and undo our past mistakes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Have you ever met a person who constantly regrets a mistake they've made weeks, months, maybe even years ago? They keep dwelling on their past, feeling terrible about the things that they can't change. What these people need to know is that mistakes, if utilised correctly, are the predecessors to success. We can use them to our advantage to better our futures and to become the best individuals we can be. Through the MCU, we can see that mistakes aren't the end of the world, that we can learn from them, and that we can also learn from the mistakes of others. Imagine a world without mistakes. This would also be a world without microwaves, fireworks, Coca-Cola, chewing gum, sticky notes, chocolate chip cookies, and plastic. All of these amazing inventions were born from mistakes. Okay, sure, not every mistake's going to result in the next chocolate chip cookie, but you get what I'm trying to say. The Hulk himself was a mistake, Bruce Banner's gamma radiation experiment gone wrong. Mistakes aren't the end of you. Know that no matter what mistakes you make, no matter the failures you have, life can always improve. This is exactly what happened to Doctor Strange. Stephen Strange made a mistake. He got distracted and crashed his car, resulting in seemingly irreparable damage to his hands. Of course, being a surgeon, you kinda need hands, so he was pretty upset about that. But you know what? If Doctor Strange hadn't had that accident, if he hadn't broken his hands, he would have never searched for some radical spiritual cure from Nepal, and probably would have remained the egotistical surgeon he was before the crash. Instead, what could have been the end of Stephen Strange resulted in him becoming an all-powerful wizard who actually cared about people. Fancy that. All because Doctor Strange refused to give up. He refused to let one mistake ruin his life. Things really do get better after mistakes. Lesson 1. After a mistake, things always get better.
We took a hit. We'll shake it off.
One of the most important life lessons we can attain is that mistakes are meant to be learnt from. Your mistakes make you the person you are today. They constitute some of our most valuable teachings in a way that nothing else has the ability to. So why wish them away? Honestly, there's not a single mistake you can't learn from. After all, the least you can learn from any mistake is to avoid repeating it. Tony Stark's made his fair share of mistakes. He unknowingly manufactured weapons that killed innocent people, went on a murderous rampage when he found out that Bucky killed his parents. He also got drunk in the suit, invited the Mandarin to his house, and created an evil robotic killing machine. But the common thread between all of these mistakes is that Tony learnt from them, and because of that, grew as a person. He stopped selling weapons.
Effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International.
He gained a bit of humility after his house was attacked, and he attempted to avoid a repeat of the destruction caused by Ultron by signing the Sokovia Accords. Although some people might say that that in itself was a bit of a mistake. Anyway, my point is, a man who never makes a mistake will never make anything. Tony couldn't rewind and fix his mistakes, but he could learn from them. Lesson 2. No matter what your mistake is, you can learn from it. To get the most out of life, we can't just learn from our own mistakes. We also need to learn from the mistakes of others. Chaka, the father of T'Challa, the current Black Panther, lived his whole life trying to keep Wakanda safe and prosperous. This also meant keeping an extremely powerful nation isolated, unwilling to help outsiders in need. This was something that Chaka's brother and Eric Killmonger's father N'Jobu couldn't stand for. N'Jobu tried to sell Wakandan weapons on the black market through Ulysses Klaue. When confronted by Chaka, he threatened to kill Zurich, and to save Zurich, Chaka killed N'Jobu. This was perhaps Chala's father's greatest mistake. The ex-king killed Njobu and left his son Eric alone, ultimately turning him into a vengeful killer. Chala admired his father and wanted to continue his legacy by maintaining the Vibranium Nation's secrecy. The remarkable thing about Black Panther is that the movie had an admirable villain. Eric Killmonger lost his father to a nation that was supposed to support him. His true motivations, even if somewhat twisted, lay in protecting people like him. But the way he wanted to go about it was a bit over the top. After meeting, fighting, killing, and almost being killed by Eric Killmonger, Chala learned that isolation was not the answer. That leaving others like Eric to suffer when Wakanda could help them wasn't the right thing to do. So he opened up Wakanda to the world and offered up its resources in a conference with the United Nations. Lesson 3. Learn from the mistakes of others, just as Chala learned from the mistakes of his father. Are you getting it? Every mistake, no matter what it is, no matter who did it, no matter how big or small it is something that we can use to become the best people we can be. We just have to pay attention. Look, you might be thinking, yeah, sure, some of the Avengers made mistakes and learnt from them. Big deal. This can't be an underlying theme across the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, but it can. Think back to all the Marvel movies you've watched, all the character development, all the failures, and yes, all the mistakes. It's rare to find a member of the Avengers who hasn't made a mistake and learned from it. Thor was once irresponsible and cocky and unworthy of wielding Mjolnir, Scarlet Witch worked for Hydra and Ultron, and Black Widow often alludes to her horrifying past, which, if the comic books are anything to go by, probably involved her being some sort of supervillain.
Barton was sent to kill me.
Sure, some of the Avengers are nearly perfect and haven't made any mistakes. But I think you'll find that most of them have been impacted by a mistake, one way or another. Now, rewind to your own mistakes. The message of this video is not to dwell on your mistakes or to judge other people by theirs, but rather just to learn from them and strive to do better in the future. After all, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Every mistake, whether it's your own or someone else's, can be exploited so that we can better our futures. So keep taking risks. Live life to the full. If you happen to make a mistake along the way, use it to your advantage. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. This is my first YouTube video with, hopefully, many more to come. See ya.